Hi, I'm Bart Herbison, Executive Director of the Nashville Songwriters Association. I'm so jacked up to get to be Sonny Curtis. I got to tell you, Sonny, you're one of my heroes.
Well, thank you.
And we're taping this a few weeks before we did this. You and Hugh Prestwood and Mac Davis, all in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, did a show at the Bluebird that had to be one of my favorite nights of music I ever saw. Y'all were having fun, too. It wasn't just the songs. Y'all had a blast.
We had a great time. It was one of my favorite nights. I love Mac Davis and Hugh both.
Yeah, that was a great night, man.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell a little joke. We had just bought this building, and the great Sonny Curtis was coming in. I guess this was 2005 or 6, and it was when the tornado hit right downtown.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
I mean, you walked in the door, and we saw the cloud, and we hit the basement. The next time I saw you, it was a big hailstorm, so you came in today, and I was kind of like... But we're going to talk about Walk Right Back, your great hit for the Everly Brothers. And I had the stupid question, of course I knew this off camera, did you know the Everly Brothers?
I played guitar with the Everly Brothers for about 3 years off and on. The other two Crickets, Jerry Allison and Joe B. Malden, and I were their backup band in 1959 before I got drafted and went into the Army. After I came out of the Army, I played with them for a couple of years.
And of course, Buddy Holly and the Crickets. It's those Crickets. We'll talk more about that. We're going to do 3 different interviews of different songs with Sonny. And they let you have a guitar in the Army?
I did not have a guitar. This was in basic training, but it was a Sunday afternoon, and they had the worst old beat-up Sears Roebuck kind of guitar. Nothing against Sears Roebuck, but their guitars were horrible. I wrote "Walk Right Back" on that guitar on a Sunday afternoon in the Army in basic training.
Where were you?
Fort Ord, California.
Wow. And you wrote it by yourself?
Yes.
Where'd that idea come from?
Who knows? I had the lick before I went into the Army, and then that Sunday afternoon I put a song to it.
So you played for them after the Army?
I played with them a year before I went in the Army, and then a couple of years after I got out of the Army.
So again, let's talk about this. Is kind of the story behind the song. You had the lick, but what was the idea? You remember?
Gosh, who knows where they come from? People ask me all the time, like, what in the world are you thinking when you write a song? And I think sometime when I'm done that I probably dreamed them, I can't really say.
Were you writing a lot at Basic?
No, I didn't have much time on my hands.
So, do you tell me what you do remember about that day?
What I did with this particular song, I had this. Try not to turn this into too long a story. I fired expert on the rifle range. About 250 men in our company, and I was one of 6, and they gave us a 3-day pass, and I used my 3-day pass to go down to Los Angeles to visit Jerry Allison, who was living there, the Crickets drummer, and Don and Phil whom we knew. They were down there studying acting at Warner Brothers. They had just got signed to Warner Brothers, and we went over to see them, and I said, "Sing that song to Don," and I did, and Don got on the phone. Phil came down, they worked out that great harmony, and then that's how it happened.
Wow. So the melody lick, though, man, you've written you're in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, so many great songs, but did you kind of know that it was special?
No, I didn't. I didn't think about it in those terms. I don't think one ever knows. A lot of songwriters might, but you never know if they're going to be special. When they get to be a hit, then you realize they're sort of special.
So they recorded it right after you. They heard it right after you wrote it.
They heard it right after I wrote it. I left Fort Ord, California, and went to Fort Gordon, Georgia, for my second 8, as they called it, and they recorded it right after I got to Fort Gordon. Then I was sent to France to do my duty. I was in for 2 years, And the day I landed in France, and I believe it was January the 11th of 1960, a long time ago, that was the day they released my song.
And they were huge in Europe. Did you get to hear it over there?
I did hear it. They played it on, that big radio station for the armed forces.
Voice of America?
Whatever it is, yeah, one of those. They played it on there all the time. Man.
Did you get any extra K rations or get out of KP? Because you had to be pretty popular, man.
Well, the Army's not real big on giving you extra stuff.
Now, were you single at the time?
I was, yeah. I was.
So at least did you get an extra dance card or two?
Men, there again, I was in the Army,
Did you ever? But I mean, girls over in France, everybody heard the song. Did they know? Did they know you, the soldier, wrote it? Because you're so humble, you weren't telling people, but I'm sure your buddies did.
My buddies around the base there knew it. I was stationed in Toul, France, up in Alsace-Lorraine, northeastern France, and my buddies all knew, but that's about it.
Did you ever see the Everlys play it live in concert? Of course, you were playing with them after that.
When I played with them, oh yeah, they played it all the time.
And what was the response?
I saw them even when I was sitting in the audience. They always included my song. And
did they tell everybody that this guy wrote it?
Well, when I was picking with them, they would. But when I wasn't in the band, they never mentioned that.
So the song was recorded by a lot of people through the years.
Yes, Anne Murray had a big hit on it, and it was recorded by Andy Williams and Perry Como and various other ones.
Well, I got to tell you, I went to YouTube. I just wanted to hear it again, and it had been a while. And I watched Phil and Don do it. What magic.
They nailed it, I'll tell you.
They sure did. Yeah. Let's hear your version of it. That's the story behind the song this week. Sonny Curtis, Walk Right Back.
I want you to tell me why you walked out on me. I'm so lonesome every day. I want you to know that since you walked out on me, nothing seems to be the same old way. Think about the love that burns within my heart for you, the good times that we had before you went away. Oh, me, walk right back to me this minute. Bring your love to me, don't send it. I'm so lonesome every day.
Sonny Curtis, Walk Right Back, for the Tennessean and Tennessean.com.